Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me for our Monday night update. Going to talk about Tuesday, going to get you guys those daily expected moves, but over the weekend, today's going to be a quick one because over the weekend, we really talked about all the things that we were discussing, how there is potential for bear trap here with the 2 hour on volatility, the VIX here saying, hey, we can go into a negative trend. We could carve this out as some kind of lower high. This is a very interesting development, but the most interesting development out there was the SPX 500 in the futures. We'll go over that. We'll show it off once we actually start up on the SPY analysis. But this was the biggest argument for some kind of trap. Now, this has overall confirmed. We're going to talk about this later in the video, but the 2 hour divergence we were mentioning over the weekend, the 85% chance for an update in the SPY, we figured the IWM would follow that since that was shouted out from the historical data from the volatility index. 2 hour divergences like to get some kind of daily move to the upside where we could make that right shoulder and roll, but if this is going to be a full reversal, we'll watch this very carefully as it is still in negative territory, but you have confirmed those divergences. So let's start getting into it because today is going to be a quick one. And I wanted you guys to see those daily expected moves. I'm just going to have to update them with you guys right now. I just wanted to show off how the SPY utilizing that daily expected move, 85% chance for an update. Yes, it looks a little bit bad here for the SPY. We always want to be prepared for what? Another roll to potentially see the actual SPY hit that monthly expected move. Okay, we're still watching for a potential roll. And guess what? We're still going to watch for some kind of trap down in this area by that monthly expected move. We are only halfway through the month. We have half of the month left. So it would make total sense from the options market. And we have not seen, as of right now, you have not seen anything near a stock market crash. I just want you to be very clear that this is the lower. This yellow line is the lower expected move priced in from the options data that I personally calculated. We put this information out on Patreon, but we also give the SPY completely for free. So please do subscribe if you're liking anything that you see here. If you are actually getting anything helpful, please subscribe to the channel. Now, the key thing here was, hey, this doesn't look very good. There's no divergence here, no divergence here. And a lot of the time you'll hear me say this. I like to see the actual divergence on the SPY. So I'm still leaving this roll very much so open, which makes total sense, right? Don't get too bullish. Don't ever get too bearish. That's just how it goes. You can be a little bit more bullish than bearish most of the time because the market most of the time goes up. But why were we paying attention to today very closely for some kind of trap? Not only because of the 85% chance for an update, but also because the futures here with the SPX 500 already tagged the monthly expected move and made that high point. And then we came back down to this area. And if we're able to turn up before beating this low, yeah, all we got to do is go make that new high. And guess what? This is closer to the center line. This is why we were paying attention to those things. Was because if you look at futures here, we tag the monthly expected move directly right on the dot. We found support there. That's why these levels, if you're looking, you're someone who's out there and you're going, hey, how do I find support and resistance? Yes, there's multiple ways to find support and resistance. There's multiple ways to find trend lines. But what is the best, absolute best, in my opinion, after years of using this? I did not use them before, so I know the difference. The monthly expected move, the weekly expected move, and probably if you're a day trader or something like that, the daily expected moves can really help you out because they are the best support and resistance that you will ever see. They are fantastic, especially the monthly expected move, in my opinion. But I utilize the weekly expected move the most in my with my trading. Now, this is a 4 hour attempting to say, hey, yeah, we're high or low. This means that if the 4 hour can take off here, you can test this high. You can start to retake this trend. This is going to be the bull's attempt to potentially break through. But we know something very key about this level of about 6847 or whatever it is. We know based on our weekly expected moves for this week that going past that level is about equal to right here. So 683.50-ish is what you would really need to take back for the bulls to say, hey, we're back in control and we can pull back, dink off of that 5-day and head to the upside. So as we sit here on the 4 hour chart, 2 hour chart's what I like for the regular trading hours, you can see that all that's happening here is a divergence behind the scenes. You have a divergence on the SPX 500. You can still go make that here with the monthly expected move. Great daily expected move for today, but we're going to get you those updated daily expected moves now as I update them, as I make this last point. This is what you see when you see a trend possibly going to change. You can see some kind of trap signal near that monthly expected move. That's why I showed you that the SPX 500 already tagged it. And what that means is this is going to be the attempt for a squeeze to retake trend by the bulls. That's all that this means. That is what is overall being shown to you with these confirmations, especially when you go look at IWM. So we'll take another look at that. But let's get you guys some daily expected moves and look at 30-minute charts and talk about what's going to happen potentially tomorrow, right? Come up with some of our scenarios so we're ready to react. You have 676.30 to the upside for the SPY, 661.76. Implied volatility remaining above 20% as of right now. That means that we are we're due for those rip-in moves, right? So this means if the positivity continues, hey, tomorrow we have it priced in for about 676. A lot of people will look for potential rolls there as we do potentially take care of a gap. So be aware of that. And that's why I mentioned that this is still negative. If that curls down, this signal would be potentially failing, and we can curl down and go all the way down to that monthly expected move, where we will still be watching for any kind of trick and trap. This is what trading like water really looks like. A 30-minute chart. Now, I did mention this because I thought it was highly probable. I mentioned this, I believe it might have been I think it was in the YouTube video over the weekend, where if the 2 hour, if we gap up, that was the suggestion by me. Hey, if we gap up on Monday or something like that, like to the daily expected move, what do you look for here to enter into a position? Well, some people potentially will just take that right away. Some people will wait, see if this move is able to carve out some kind of 30-minute higher low. So the next real opportunity, if you wanted to put it there, if you weren't comfortable in this area, if you're saying, hey, yeah, all that has to happen here for me to manage a trade, right? If I take a trade right here and I say, hey, I'm bullish at the end of the day, I take calls. If I wake up tomorrow and a little red bar shows up like this and crosses down on the MACD, I would be managing that trade. Okay, so as of right now, you know I'm still in the starter position. What I'm going to do is I am going to wait to see if this extends and then get that 30-minute pullback where I will add more later. That's the overall plan for the trade as of right now. So with this looking pretty good here. If the 30-minute is going to roll down in any way, you would still look for potential higher low. You would look for divergence as of right now for that 30-minute chart, though, based on your daily expected move for tomorrow. So as of right now, hey, can we continue to see positivity? Open to that 2 hour to roll down to that monthly expected move. But if we're able to squeeze high enough, get through this weekly expected move, maybe with some potentially good news or something like that, then bulls will be taking back control. So as of right now, if you want the bearishness to continue, you want that 30-minute or 2 hour to roll. If you want the bulls to take back this market, then you have to take out this level to really be able to say that the bulls are back in some sort of control. Let's go over to the Qs. Once again, daily expected move working very, very nicely, gapped up to it. You just sit there all day. That happens a lot of the time. It's very normal with a gap to do that. Now, we haven't seen a higher low from the 30-minute. We haven't really seen what's going to go on here, but we know there's this gap down below, and usually you like to take care of those pretty quickly. So if the 30-minute rolls, could be a little risky. So let's give you those daily expected moves and see what this lower one comes up to first. 593.36 to the downside there for your daily expected move. Notice it's right at that gap fill. So if we wanted to, if the market wants to, if the Qs want to, they can take care of that gap right away tomorrow. That's what's being priced in from the options market for tomorrow. But if we're going to see more positivity and this doesn't curl down, right, curls down, a little bit risky of making a new low, we'll watch out for divergences and things like that. But Qs, I don't think you really want to roll this low, in my opinion. I don't think you want to head lower than these areas. 607.40 would be, hey, we're not going to roll down. We're going to extend. But the big deal here is where is the weekly expected move? So as the 2 hour has crossed up, if that's not crossing back down, then you're very likely tomorrow to head to that 607.40. But if we want to really say that the bulls are back in control, you kind of have some wonkiness for the Qs. You heard me say this over the weekend where you made the new low, but then you went and made a new high. So price price action, very confusing here. So what you would like to see is some kind of breakout of that area, and then you have more data. This is the bullish case. This is the best case for the bull, in my opinion, is you break through and then you get through that weekly expected move where you know your 68% chance to pull back down into it. You see a 30-minute or a 2-hour pullback, and you're able to be off to the races, and the bulls can take back control. The problem with that is the bear side is still there. You are still negative. You're playing with these lows. So if you fail to do that, you take care of a gap and you roll. That is where you are at most risk of seeing a new low for the Qs. That is where you can see all of this bundled up energy start to distribute in some kind of direction. So paying attention to this week is going to be very critical for the Qs. I am personally staying away from the Qs as of right now. I just think that the setups for SPY and IWM are better. As we look at IWM, you see that the daily expected move coming in as a good resistance there. Just want to show that off again. It's right by the 5-day moving average. Let's update those levels. 252 on the dot here for the upside move, and then for the downside move for the IWM, 245.84. So we have those levels. Notice it's right there to take care of that gap if we wanted to. So as of right now, the failure, the complete failure of this signal of the divergence here would be if the 2-hour rolls. That would be into negative territory, right? We can come up to these levels and still roll down, and that still would say, hey, we're going to potentially go make a new low here. So and if you want weekly expected moves for IWM, they are posted to Patreon. Please, if you're interested in more information about IWM, we did give you the monthly expected move this month, but we give out this info on Patreon. You get an extra update video throughout the week. Sometimes you get 2, and during crazy weeks, we even do 3. And I'm thinking about bringing a live show for Patreon only this summer. We'll have to see if I'm able to do that with the timing of being a second new dad, all that good stuff. Sorry, I'm kind of readjusting my chair here. Back was hurting from holding that baby. So the big deal here with IWM is 2-hour divergence. Now, we called out the fact that we've broken this low, so you can just make that right shoulder. We're going to watch for that. But as of right now, what do we care about? Hey, which way is this market going to go in the near term? So in the near term, the confirmation that you look for right here, this is a confirmation that's saying if you hold price here, if the 2-hour doesn't roll, then you can go test this area, right? You can come and break through that. You would love to see that broken through, get a nice pullback to actually head higher. That would be the best way for the bulls to take back this market. Now, the 30-minute chart here looks like it wants to start heading down potentially for a little shorter time frame, like little A, B, C right in here. You would look for the higher low. You would look for even another tag of the monthly expected move and a reaction off of it. But what does it tell you initially if I'm in calls for IWM and the 30-minute rolls? Well, it's by the center line. So something we talk about in the full technical analysis course is managing trades. And we talk about actively managing trades. We kind of treat this like managing a trade is just as good as a win, right? Not losing 100% of a trade, but only losing 20, maybe even 30% is a very, very good thing. You save capital in some way to potentially stay in the game and look for new signals with another setup that play out a little bit better. And this doesn't mean it's failing all the time, right? The failure of this is the complete 2-hour rolling down. So what am I getting at here? What do we talk about in that? We say, hey, if the 30-minute chart is my management for the trade, meaning I'm in the 2-hour divergence, it's kind of hard for the 2-hour to continue up. If the 30-minute crosses down, how close is that to the center line, right? That's the question we always ask ourselves. That is uncomfortably close for me to the center line. So if IWM, if I had calls in it, I do not as of right now. I'm actually still looking at the SPY, but we actually see this confirmed to the downside on the 30-minute. That would tell me, hey, manage the trade for a minute, take a little 5-10% loss, and then see that come down. See if we can carve out that higher low. Crosses down. Oh, that's risky. That's when we can plummet through the floor. So I don't want to be a part of it. But if that's able to fill a gap and turn right back around, I'm here for it, right? Because there are great buyers right in this area. So I'd really be watching for that 30-minute. If that crosses down, things get a little risky. But if we can extend to the upside and take out, let's look at the level we need to take out for the bulls to gain back some control here. 257.80 is about the level that you would need to take back. And I would look for a reaction to pull down using your weekly expected moves. I would look for some kind of 30-minute pullback, 2-hour pullback, because that would be the best way to really say that this market is coming back, even with the divergences. Now, with the divergences, you can experience major squeezes. We'll see if that's able to take place. Let's talk about volatility. Volatility, as you can see, down by 13.47%. What does that mean? That means we have another 85% probability going into tomorrow. That's why I felt compelled to make a video, even though we already put out a lot of this information over the weekend. If the 2 hour is able to cross up, right, let's talk about the very simple thing. If the 2 hour for volatility is able to cross up, and guess what? That 85% chance for a down day in the SPY, which is what volatility, the historical data, is calling out here. That's what the VIX is calling out, not me. This can take place tomorrow or the next day, right? This could completely break down. You get some kind of move like this, but if you're far negative, the 2 hour crossing up is not really the biggest problem in the world. The bigger problem is if we see that down day tomorrow and that 2 hour is able to cross up here, where is it? It's still right by that center line. So if you're able to cross up overnight, you see a big wave of volatility come in. You want to be aware of those type of things. Does the 30 minutes suggest that we're going to see some kind of big turnaround? It has a little divergence on like a 5 minute, maybe a 15 minute down here, but you do not see any kind of reversal signal here from volatility suggesting that you're going to get some kind of big down day tomorrow. Now, anything can happen with the market, but this is what the market or the volatility index is telling you as of right now. As of right now, the 2 hour has confirmed down. This is exactly what we're looking for. This means we are highly probable to turn down the daily chart this week. Now we have to get through all those OPEXs. We have a lot coming together this Friday. I don't think with OPEX being around for the month, for the quarter, for the week, and for the day at that point, right? Zero DTE coming more and more important. I don't really see this market crashing down during that time. I would rather see some kind of counter move and then crash down after that time if you're going to see some major disruption. But all the signals you're seeing here are not, as of right now, all the signals you're seeing here do not point to some kind of big crash now, not right now. I can develop by the end of the week. We'll see what it looks like. But as of right now, the signals that you are seeing from VIX, from IWM, from the SPY, and maybe we'll see more from the Qs throughout the week. But right now, for the SPX, XPY, the IWM, and volatility, you're seeing an attempted reversal. You're seeing an attempted bottom. That is what you are seeing on your screen. If you're seeing it differently, if you're seeing it as bearish, then I would highly suggest you go learn a little bit more about divergence. Now, that's not me being crude. That's not me being mean. That is my genuine suggestion to you. If you are still seeing all of the signals in front of you as bearish at this exact moment, you have this is just blatantly wrong. This means that when you would actually be bearish, say for IWM, because this has the great reversal signals, right? You're by the monthly expected move. That's the options calculated level where you're likely to tag a couple of times. And if you tag it a couple of times and set up a reversal signal, that's what you're going to do. You're going to reverse in some way. We'll watch for a roll over here. That's where you have more of a bearish case. But as of right now, I do not see anything bearish in these charts. We'll see how it develops over the next few days, because all that has to happen for this to fail is the 2 hour rotates down. If the 2 hour rotates down, you are at risk of seeing something crazy outside of the monthly expected move. So I wanted to say that towards the end of the video. Hey, I hope this video was helpful for you. I really, really do. Maybe if it was, leave a like, maybe subscribe, turn on this notification so you never miss a video, because we give out daily expected moves almost every single day. If for whatever reason I can't put out a video, I do like to put that onto Patreon every single time, so you have it. If you want to join over there, it's only $7. But this is a critical time to be watching these levels, because a lot of people will see this and they will go, no, the 2 hour divergence just isn't going to play out this time. Even if you are still bearish here, it is good to react for a moment and say, I'm not going to have my bearish play. I'm going to see how this plays out. I'm going to see if I can get another roll. And then the next roll is usually better to play, because if you do not pay attention to any kind of divergences or higher lows by the monthly expected move, you can be like these people who thought we were going to crash through the floor. We mentioned you could crash with this kind of look. You're rotating down in negative territory, but we also mentioned the futures and we mentioned the RSI divergence outside of a monthly expected move. Back here, IWM is showing you the exact same thing that we saw over here right now. So managing for a moment, even if you're extremely bearish, being a good trader, trading like water is a good idea. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and have a great rest of your night. Peace out.